Peace and blessings to everybody out there. I hope you had a great weekend. This is Michael Davis with another installment. Um, I wasn't going to do a video today, but I read one of my subscriber comments, and he will remain anonymous, but it was very inspiring to me, and it compelled me to want to do a video on the topic. Like I reread, I mean, I kept rereading it because it touched me that much. And it's a topic that's taboo, but it's a topic that really needs to be brought to the forefront. And it pertains to mental illness. A lot of people suffer in silence because of the stigmatization, because of the pejorative stigmatization that's correlated with mental disorder. A lot of people are afraid to reveal that they are dealing with a personality disorder or a mental disorder, so they suffer in silence. And by them suffering in silence, it exacerbates the mental illness, which can subsequently lead to suicide. You see, because they keep it to themselves because they don't want to be viewed as crazy. They want help. They want understanding. They don't want scrutiny and criticism, negative criticism. And to be truthfully honest, I suffer from more than one mental disorders. I suffer from four. I suffer from antisocial personality disorder. I suffer from borderline personality disorder, avoidant personality disorder, and depression. Okay? And I'm telling you right now, like it's tough. It's really tough, man. It's really tough to live with a mental disorder. And I consider people who have to live with a mental disorder, I consider them to be very strong, and very brave, because it's not your fault. And by you waking up knowing that you're going to be faced with those internal demons, you know, that's commendable. So you're not alone. You're definitely not alone in this fight. And I know what it feels like to you know, I to I know what it feels like to battle suicide. I know what it feels like to constantly think about death and to feel inadequate, to have low self-esteem. Yeah, I know what it feels like. And it has nothing to do with possessions. It has nothing to do with being, with having money, because there's plenty of celebrities who have mental disorders. Kid Cudi, Kanye West, Marilyn Monroe, what's his name, the dude from Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, uh, Andy Warhol, Abraham Lincoln, even Charles Darwin, the evolution guy, and many more. All those people had mental disorders. Isaac Newton, all those people had mental. Even what's his name? Albert Einstein. They saying that he was autistic, but back then autism didn't exist. But they went back in and tried to. Anyway, they saying that in today's time he would have been labeled one of the on the autistic spectrum disorder. I'm sorry, autistic spectrum disorder. Okay, so it has nothing to do with having money, because I don't have this job now for reasons that I won't divulge. But I had a job at a Fortune 500 company. And I had a desk job. I had my own office, Fortune 500 company. I had a desk job. My fiance at the time, she worked there. I was making over $25 an hour. She was making more than me. We had a big house, a huge house, fancy house, nice cars. I had an excursion at the time, and I forgot what she had. I had another car. I had two cars. I had jewelry. I had money. You know what I'm saying? But I was still miserable. I still battled suicide. I still battled low self-esteem. I still battle inadequacy because I was brought up being taught that I was brought up with hate. I was brought up abused. I was brought up being taught that I was nothing, that I would never amount to nothing. My own mother put a knife to my throat when I was 13 and said she wished she never had me. She thinking about killing me. And she ended up getting arrested for that. She got arrested for that. But I was abused. You see what I'm saying? As a child, by people who were supposed to love me. You see what I'm saying? And that's the beginning of my life. I was born into hate, not love. Wasn't no beautiful crib waiting for me. I was unplanned. You see, I was unplanned. I was a bastard child. So when you brought up with being abused and being verbally and physically abused, and so your parents already have a little mental illness going on, so you inherited that trait, and by you living in an inhospitable environment, that trait that you inherited was activated, that gene, because it's a gene. You've inherited a gene for mental illness, but it can only be activated if the conditions is right. Okay, so if you inherited a gene for mental illness, but you was brought up in a loving environment, that gene won't be activated. So you just have the gene for antisocial personality disorder, but it won't be activated because you're brought up in a loving environment. But if you have a gene for antisocial personality disorder and you're brought up in an inhospitable environment with deplorable conditions, then that gene will be activated and you will show symptoms of antisocial personality disorder. You see what I'm saying? So I think that, and I'm speaking subjectively, I think that all the abuse that I endured in conjunction with the inheritance from both of my parents, it made me into this person I am today, who love to be alone, who don't trust, you know what I mean, who is difficult for me to bond with you. So I'm socially awkward. I'm very socially awkward. You know what I'm saying? And I think the prognosis is self-love, man. Self-love. Read about your mental illness. If you do have people who will support you, go to people who will support you, and who will not judge you. Stay away from alcohol. Stay away from drugs. If you can, try the natural approach and try, to relinquish pharmaceuticals. But if pharmaceuticals help, then use pharmaceuticals, because everybody's biochemistry is different. Everybody, what works for you might not work for me, and vice versa. But the biggest thing is self-love, man, because it's so easy to hate yourself, especially when you feel inadequate. Everybody has a story, but people with mental illness, man, it's it's real tough, and it's real difficult. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I don't know if I want to continue doing videos, because I deal with because of my mental illness. It's hard looking in this camera, doing these videos and trying to articulate myself, and and knowing that people watching me, knowing that you're going to get responses. You're going to get some. You might get a dickhead every now and then that want to get on your channel and just say some derogatory stuff about you. And fortunately, I haven't had that yet. People have been real supportive, but it's really. I'm proud that I've done it, and I have 89 subscribers now, and it's growing, and it's consistently growing. But like I said, I just wanted to help people. I really wanted to be a vessel to help people who's going through what I'm going through. And like I said before, I see other people channels, and I'd be like, wow, man, can I really, it's oversaturated with everybody wanting to be, a YouTube sensation. Everybody want to be a celebrity with their 15 minutes of fame, but I don't like attention. I just know that there's people out there suffering. You know what I mean? And I want to help those people. So if you have mental illness, don't be ashamed of it. Seek help. Seek a support group. There's forums online that you can go to. There's hotlines that you can call. I've called hotlines plenty of times. And a couple of those times I broke down crying, man. Yeah, I broke down crying. So I think I'm going to conclude. Like I say, this was straight up improv. I didn't prepare for this at all. I just go from the heart. I come from the heart. I'm gonna do more videos about anxiety. I think that's a topic that we really need to discuss. So stay tuned for more videos about anxiety. I hope this was helpful. And that's all I can say. So, peace and love. Mike Davis. Stay strong and stay encouraged. Bye.